I strongly believe that Robbie had a traumatic brain injury. I think that he was able to function really well for a long time.
Nicole and James Hurling share the view expressed in an analysis from the Boston University CTE Center that Robert Card had a brain injury, which likely played a role in his mental health. The hearing aids he was using, they say, made things worse.
He put them in, turned them up, and said, I'm going to figure out what these people are saying about me. And then with the injury, he wasn't able to make these connections and pathways like maybe you or I might be able to, and it drove him literally insane.
Military leaders disagree. Speaking with reporters at the Pentagon last summer when the Army report on Robert Card was released, the head of the Army Reserve said Card's injuries likely came from a fall, information provided by the Card family.
So the fall from the house on a ladder, I believe, is the injury that took place. The amount of exposure that he had is to other shock is relatively minor.
Please attend to that risk because it is now clearly contributing to the tragedy that we had, but also suicide and long-term damage to.
Maine Senator Angus King helped push the Pentagon to implement changes related to blast overpressure being rolled out this year. Card was a longtime instructor at a grenade training range where he may have been exposed to thousands of low-level blasts.
The evidence that I've seen indicates there's not much doubt that that's what it was. And I'm disappointed that the military officials would try to avoid responsibility in this situation.
In December, Congress passed parts of Senator King's Blast Overpressure Safety Act. It directs the Pentagon to limit blast exposure, especially during training, track exposure, and modify weapons to reduce injury.
We're talking about screening the troops every year to see whether there's any problem that's arising. We're talking about preventative gear, the weapons themselves.
Just days ago, Senator King introduced a separate bill which would direct the Department of Veterans Affairs and research partners to study the impacts of repetitive low-level blast injuries over 10 years at a cost of $5 million. But with federal spending under the microscope and no agency spared from cuts, its future is unclear.
I want to see that they're preventing further injuries, but I really want to know what they're doing with the soldiers who have already been affected. How are they supporting the families and the children, the wives of the people who have already been subjected to blast overpressure injuries?
And now the Hurlings and Senator King have a common focus, preserving the Veterans Crisis Line. As the Trump administration continues its effort to reduce the federal workforce, an internal memo revealed the Department of Veterans Affairs is planning an aggressive reorganization that includes cutting up to 80,000 jobs from the agency. This comes after several senators, including King, raised concerns over the firing of some crisis line workers last month.
Now there's going to be workers there. They're going to try to deal with people who are in crisis. They're going to be overburdened. They're going to be burnt out, and they're going to be stressed, and they're not going to be able to help these people. We've spoken to people that have been on the line for over hours on waiting. I mean, that could be too late.
For Maine's Total Coverage, I'm Terry Stackhouse.